model, this video to explain a student model, student work that is really pretty good. It could use some development, but this is a type of A. So take a look at this and compare it with your work. See how you can make yours stronger if you somehow didn't receive a high mark on this assignment. First off, the student meets the 4 basic things I asked for this topic and review of literature assignment. I get 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. And in the original assignment, the length was sufficient, the original submission version. And she starts off with the writer starts off with a personal anecdote that provides that sort of concrete scenario about souvenirs, all right, about the Salty Dog Cafe, how she and her family visit Hilton Head Island every summer, and okay. Now, what I would encourage you to do, hang on just a second, to see this better, is to just pause the video and read it, or expand the screen and then read it if you need to see it larger. And so there's the first part, and here's the second part, or the second half of the page. I'm doing this so you can expand and read it. And here's the third section, the second page. And then, from this concrete version of the topic, or an instance of the topic, I get a general discussion of it. My general topic has to do with our social environment. This refers to how people interact with each other. This interaction takes place between people verbally or visually. I'm focusing on the visual part of our social environment, which is why people buy souvenirs from places they have been. Buying souvenirs is a great way to remember where you have been, show people where you have traveled to, and to even start a conversation with a stranger. Okay, so I see a connection to communication here. And I would just say that, I also see that this is pretty interesting. The idea of how souvenirs allow us to communicate and form social groups. All right. The thing is, I would want this student to develop the thesis a bit more, because if this is the thesis, right here, which you know what, it shouldn't be, because you're not introducing the thesis yet. But if the student is thinking, this is what I'm going to try to prove. Listen, you don't have to prove this. People will give you the statement. They'll grant it to you without. It seems to be pretty much self-evident based on the average American's experience. All right. So, it's part of the topic paragraph, to be sure. But I would like the student to develop a more specific topic. Maybe specifically mention investigating how souvenirs establish a basis for forming a small social group among strangers that you would not meet otherwise. All right, it's a symbol around which people can congregate, and you somehow assume something about the people that congregate around that symbol as opposed to another symbol. I'm talking about souvenirs as symbols, and then you can talk about the social ladder that certain souvenirs have in themselves. Okay, this, I think, needs work. However, the student has provided a very developed and in-depth review of literature. There is some surface stuff that can be fixed. A book title needs to be italicized without quotation marks. So, yes, this has to be like this. All right, and then when you finish your quote, all right, the period goes after the parenthetical citation, and if you're doing MLA, you don't have page numbers, you just have that. So there's stuff that needs to be, and I expect to see that fixed out for when it's actually in the writing portfolio. I get a final draft of this. But the student has done exactly what I wanted you all to do, and that's to just, here's the book, here's the author, here's the main idea, here's the quote that supports it, here's another book, here's another source, here's what they said, here's who wrote it. All right. Here's the book Social Standing in America. This is what they said. Okay, now that's all. And then there's another source down here. Okay. Now I wouldn't want to say the fourth book, because you're revealing that as part of assignment with that sort of language. Something like finally a book titled, and then let's get rid of this. So, but I get everything I asked for, and then I get the works cited. And there was a really decent attempt to get this properly done according to MLA standards. So because of all the good stuff that was there, this is probably going to be a 3.8, I think. I think I would give it a 3.8. Just, that topic paragraph needs work, but as a first draft, 3.8.